Have you ever woken up at 2 in the morning, dragged yourself to the bathroom, and just stood there thinking, why does this keep happening to me? If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Millions of men over 60 deal with this exact problem every single night. The constant bathroom trips, the disrupted sleep, the feeling of never fully emptying the bladder, the aching tension in the lower belly, the groin, the tailbone. It is exhausting. It chips away at your confidence, your sleep, your energy, and honestly, your whole quality of life. But here is something most doctors never tell you. This problem is not just about your prostate. A huge part of what is causing your nighttime bathroom trips and pelvic discomfort is actually your pelvic floor muscles. And the good news? You can do something about it starting today, right from your own home. 4 simple exercises that take less than 20 minutes a day. My name is Sarah, and welcome to Healthyfy Hub, your channel for practical, science-backed health tips that actually make a difference for men and women over 60. If you are new here, we upload new videos every week, helping you feel stronger, more comfortable, and more in control of your health. So before we go any further, please take 2 seconds right now and hit that subscribe button below this video. That way you will never miss a new tip, and trust me, the things we share here are the kind of information your doctor simply does not have time to tell you in a 10-minute appointment. Subscribe now, it is completely free. And while you are at it, hit the bell icon so you get notified every time we post. Okay, now, let us get into something that is genuinely going to change your nights. So let us talk about what is really going on. Most men over 60 who struggle with frequent urination, pelvic pressure, or that maddening feeling of needing to go but barely going, they are told one of 2 things. Either it is your prostate, take this medication, or you need to do Kegel exercises to strengthen your pelvic floor. And here is where things get really interesting, and honestly a little shocking. For many men over 60, those 2 recommendations, especially the Kegel exercises, can actually make the problem worse. Not better. Worse. Let me explain why. Because once you understand this, everything else we talk about today will make perfect sense. The pelvic floor is a hammock of muscles that sits at the very base of your pelvis. These muscles support your bladder, your bowel, and your prostate. They control when you urinate, when you stop, and how completely your bladder empties. Now, in younger men, a weak pelvic floor can be a problem, and Kegel exercises, which involve squeezing and holding those muscles, can help. But in men over 60, the situation is often completely reversed. Instead of muscles that are too weak and loose, the pelvic floor muscles are frequently too tight. They are in a constant low-level state of tension, or even spasm. And when muscles are chronically tight and overworked, squeezing them more, which is exactly what a Kegel asks you to do, is the last thing they need. It is like having a muscle cramp in your calf, and then someone telling you to flex it harder. It does not help. It makes things worse. So what is the solution? The solution is to stop squeezing and start releasing. Instead of the classic Kegel, what most men over 60 actually need is the Reverse Kegel, a movement that is completely opposite in nature. Instead of contracting the pelvic floor, you are gently lengthening it, opening it, and allowing it to release years of built-up tension. And that is exactly one of the 4 exercises we are going to walk through today in complete detail, step by step, so you can follow along at home. Along with the Reverse Kegel, we are going to cover a specific technique you can use right on the toilet to make sure your bladder is actually emptying fully each time. A deeply relaxing yoga-inspired stretch that works wonders for pelvic tension and blood flow. And a breathing exercise that not only relaxes your pelvic floor, but will literally help you fall back asleep on those nights. When your mind starts racing at 3 in the morning, these 4 exercises work best when done in sequence, in the exact order I am going to share them, because each one builds on the one before. And before we go any further, I want to be very clear about something. Please consult with your doctor before starting any new exercise routine, especially if you have a specific medical condition, recent surgery, or any contraindication that might apply to you. These exercises are gentle and designed for men over 60, but your personal medical situation matters, and your doctor knows your body best. Now, with that said, let us dive into exercise number 1. The first exercise is something you can do every single time you use the bathroom. It requires no mat, no special equipment, no particular clothing. You can do it starting today, during your very next trip to the bathroom. It is called forward and back, leans on the toilet, and its purpose is to help you achieve what bladder specialists call complete bladder emptying. This matters enormously because one of the major reasons men over 60 wake up multiple times at night is not that the bladder is filling up faster than it should. It is that the bladder was never fully emptied in the first place. If you leave even a small amount of urine in the bladder each time you go, it takes less time for the bladder to feel full again, which means you end up making more trips, more often, including in the middle of the night. Completely emptying the bladder each time is one of the most powerful things you can do to reduce nighttime urgency. Here is how to do the forward and back lean technique. Start by sitting comfortably on the toilet with your buttocks fully on the seat. Do not perch on the edge. Your feet should be planted firmly on the floor, hip-width apart. Your back should be straight but relaxed, not stiff, not hunched. You can rest your hands on your thighs or your knees for a little extra stability. Now begin urinating as you normally would, and as you do, allow your pelvic floor muscles to relax as much as possible. Do not squeeze, do not rush, just let your body do what it naturally does. When you notice the main flow starting to slow down, that is your cue to begin the leaning technique. Lean forward slowly and gently, bringing your chest toward your thighs. Imagine you are trying to look down at your knees. As you do this, you will feel a gentle, natural pressure building in your lower abdomen. This is exactly what you want. That subtle compression helps push the remaining urine toward the bladder opening, making it much easier for your body to release those last few drops that would otherwise stay behind. Hold this forward lean for about 3 to 5 seconds while breathing steadily. Do not hold your breath. Just breathe naturally and let the body respond. You may notice a little more urine coming out. That is a good sign. Now slowly return to an upright seated position. Relax your torso completely. Wait a couple of seconds. Let whatever wants to come out naturally do so. Now comes the second part of the technique. Lean back slightly, just enough to feel like you are gently opening your chest, like a very mild, proud posture. Do not arch your back aggressively. Just a gentle, soft backward lean. This position does something different. It shifts the angle of the pelvis and allows the pelvic floor muscles to open up in a slightly different way, releasing the very last traces of urine that are sitting in the bladder neck or the lower portion of the urethra. Hold this backward lean for about 3 to 5 seconds. Breathe in slowly as you lean back, filling your belly with air. Then return to your normal upright position and wait again for a few moments. Now repeat this cycle. Forward lean, return. Backward lean, return. Do this 4 to 5 times, or until you genuinely feel that your bladder is completely empty and there is nothing left. The whole process adds only about 30 to 60 seconds to your bathroom routine, but the difference it can make over days and weeks is substantial. Some men find that just by adopting this technique consistently, their nighttime trips drop significantly within the first 2 weeks. The key is consistency. Make this a daily habit, every single bathroom trip if you can, but especially the morning trip and the one right before bed. Before bed is particularly important, because if you can fully empty the bladder right before you lie down, you give yourself the best possible chance of sleeping through the night undisturbed. A few helpful pointers as you practice this. Always move smoothly and gently. No jerking, no forcing, no straining. If you strain or push hard, you actually tighten the pelvic floor, which is the opposite of what you want. Think of the movement as an invitation to your body, not a command. Sync your breathing with the movements when you can. Exhale softly as you lean forward. Inhale as you lean back. This rhythmic breathing keeps your muscles relaxed and helps the whole process feel natural. If you feel any discomfort or strain at any point, ease off. The technique should feel gentle and neutral. If it does not feel right for your body, speak with your doctor before continuing. Now let us move on to exercise number 2, which we will do on a mat at home. This is one of those exercises that people often dismiss because it sounds too simple, too soft, too yogish to actually work. But I promise you this exercise has helped thousands of men significantly reduce their pelvic tension, improve their blood flow to the pelvic region, and feel a lightness in their lower body that many of them had not felt in years. It is called the happy baby pose, and it is a gentle, deeply effective stretch for the pelvic floor muscles, inner thighs, the hip flexors, and the lower back, all areas that tend to tighten up and stay tight in men who sit for long periods. To prepare, find a quiet, comfortable space in your home. Lay down a soft mat or a folded blanket on the floor. You want enough cushioning so that your back and tailbone feel supported. Lie down on your back, stretch your legs out, and take a moment to just let your body settle. Take 3 or 4 slow, deep breaths. Let your arms fall open at your sides. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let the back of your head get heavy. This brief settling period is not just for comfort. It begins the process of signaling to your nervous system that it is safe to relax, which is essential for releasing pelvic floor tension. The pelvic floor is closely connected to the stress response in the body. When you are anxious, rushed, or on edge, your pelvic floor tightens automatically. So slowing down the breath before you even begin the movement is already doing real work. Now bend your knees and slowly draw them in toward your chest. As you do, reach your hands toward your feet. If you can comfortably hold the soles of your feet, that is wonderful. If not, hold on to your ankles, your shins, or even just rest your hands on your knees. Whatever feels accessible without straining your shoulders, neck, or lower back. There is no one right version of this. The version that feels right for your body is the right version. Now gently guide your knees apart, allowing them to open outward toward your armpits. Your feet should be flexed and pointing toward the ceiling. Your lower back should remain gently pressed against the floor. If your lower back lifts off the floor, that means your hips are too tight to allow the full range of movement, and that is completely fine. Just back off slightly, bring the knees in a little more, and work within whatever range feels comfortable. Now bring your entire focus to your breath. This is where the real magic of this exercise happens. As you inhale, picture the breath traveling all the way down into your lower belly and into your pelvic floor. Feel your belly expand. Feel your lower pelvis widen. Feel a sense of space and openness in the hip area. As you exhale, visualize your pelvic floor muscles gently releasing downward, like a hammock relaxing into stillness.
Do not force this.
Just breathe and imagine. The body is remarkably good at responding to breath-guided intention. And over time, as you do this exercise regularly, you will actually start to feel the pelvic floor muscles dropping and releasing with each exhale. It is a subtle sensation at first, but it becomes clearer with practice. After 3 or 4 of these guided breaths, you can add a gentle rocking movement if you like. On the inhale, softly widen your knees a bit more. On the exhale, gently let them drift back toward each other slightly. This wave-like motion adds a gentle rhythmic stretch to the inner thighs and the outer pelvic floor muscles, working slightly different areas with each cycle. It also keeps the exercise from feeling static or boring, which is especially helpful if you are new to this kind of slow, mindful movement. Stay in the happy baby pose for 1 to 2 minutes to start. As the weeks go by and your hips and pelvic floor become more comfortable with the position, gradually work your way up to holding it for 5 full minutes. 5 minutes of happy baby pose done daily can produce remarkable results over time. A few modifications to keep in mind. If your inner knees feel uncomfortable in this position, place a rolled blanket or a small pillow under each knee for support. This lifts the knees slightly and reduces the pull on the inner thigh and hip joint. If your lower back feels any strain, slide a thin cushion or a folded towel under your lower back for extra support. And if reaching your feet or ankles is genuinely too much of a stretch for your shoulders or arms, simply hold your shins just below the knee and let that be enough. When you are ready to come out of the pose, gently bring your knees back together and hug them to your chest for a moment. Then slowly roll onto your right side. Use your hands to push yourself up to a seated position and take a moment to notice how your body feels. Most men report a distinct sense of warmth, lightness, and relaxation in the pelvic area after this exercise. That feeling is your pelvic floor muscles in a more open, relaxed state, and that is exactly where you want them.